Welcome to this episode of Mercy Can't Stop Her. I am your host, Judith Ambia Obatusa, JKO. On today's episode, I'm going to be sharing an update on why empowering women who are in abusive or difficult situations is so important to Mercy Can't Stop Her. This topic is not just important to us, it is also relevant to our world because, as the saying goes, the hand that rocks the cradle rules the world. Also, as I say, if the man is the head, then the woman is the neck. And if the neck is in pain, the head will also suffer. Abusing or making life difficult for women affects everyone. According to the World Health Organization, 1 in 3 women worldwide have experienced physical or sexual violence in their lifetime, often at the hands of a partner or family member. These numbers, though staggering, are conservative when compared to the incidence of emotional abuse, which is the most prevalent form of abuse. It is also the least reported because there are no visible scars to show. Research shows that between 50 to 80% of adults experience emotional abuse in their lifetime. If you would like to learn more about emotional abuse, I'll put a link to a previous episode where we discuss that in the show notes. It's important to acknowledge that many people are facing abusive or difficult situations that they may feel trapped in. With the homelessness crisis that is in many parts of our world, with the economic situation, even with many organizations standing up to support those who are domestic violence victims, there are not enough shelters to house every single person that needs it. So telling someone to leave isn't that easy. So why are we focusing on women who are in abusive or difficult situations that they can't leave? Why is that something that Mercy Can't Stop Her is focusing on? First and foremost, it's important to recognize that leaving an abusive situation, like I said earlier on, is not always easy or straightforward. While leaving an abusive situation may seem like the obvious solution, the reality is that it's not always safe or even visible or feasible. In fact, research suggests that leaving an abusive relationship can be a complex or difficult process, and that many women, many, may feel trapped or unable to leave due to a range of factors. I started talking about that earlier on. For example, financial limitations. A study by the National Domestic Violence Hotline found that 78% of women who experience abuse in their intimate relationships also report financial abuse, which can leave them feeling financially dependent on their abuser and make it difficult to leave. As one survivor shared, it's like the slow drip of taking away my ability to be independent. Another thing that could cause a financial limitation, for example, in Canada and the United States, there are many, even in New Zealand, in many parts of the developed world, there are supports available for women in domestic violence situations. Sometimes those supports are connected to how much you earn. For example, if you needed a house and you had a job that earned particular bracket, even if you were $1 above, a little above you will not be able to get the support just because of how much you earn, even though what you earn may not even be sufficient to meet your needs. If you are a woman who has a lot of children, like I do, living a domestic violence situation with 4 children is a lot of work and a lot of challenge, especially when we consider the part about the issue of money. If you don't meet, if you're above a bracket, you can get the support in terms of housing. So it's those are that's one of the things. Financial limitations could include being financially dependent. It could also include the fact that you're earning a little above what will make you eligible for shelter. Another factor is concern for your children. People have left their situation only to find life much worse because the children are reacting to the lower standard of living or just the breakup of their family. So you're living in this big house where every child had their own room, and you now move to an apartment where they have to share. Not only do they have to share, the space is so little. And so they don't have a moment where they can take time away from each other because there's not enough space. Someone was talking to me about how they had only one bathroom. And so people had to take turns. And that's the case for so many people who have to move from larger accommodation because of their situation. And then you begin to have children acting out. Many times, the woman is figuring out her new situation, and this added stress makes life much, much harder. As you may know, if you're in the West, children rule the roost, and this could have long term consequences on the family. So when children they come out of control because they don't know how to deal with the trauma of the situation, then you start having child services coming into your home and all kinds of other challenges, which could now lead to long term consequences for your family. Another thing is lack of support from family or the community. Despite the amplified conversation about abuse, there is still a stigma associated with it. Some people have family, but the family is not willing to help them, or they are only willing to stand by the sidelines and once in a while say something so that it looks like they're helping, but they are not really willing to go the whole hog with you. If you're an immigrant with no family ties, for example, someone like me, I'm an immigrant to Canada, then you now need to rely on strangers who may have their own biases. Not only am I an immigrant to Canada, I'm a Black woman. And there are stereotypes about the angry Black woman and all that stuff. And not only about us as women, even about your offsprings. And there's so many data about the way Black children are treated in school and all of that. So that added challenge makes you reconsider. So leaving a relationship would mean that teachers begin to diagnose your child. Once your child acts out, for me now, I mentioned I'm a Black woman. So what a Black child does in the class that will warrant disciplines up to the extent of even as expulsion could be and has been in cases excused in a white child. So if you're these make the issues worse, and as a woman who loves her children, you may not want to put your children through that, because trying to leave this situation where your life is not threatened, they're not beating you or things like that, then ending up losing your children to the society, the negatives in the society. You want to look at that. Another issue could be the emotional condition of the woman, mental health over the years, over the course of that relationship. Maybe she's not strong enough emotionally, and you're hounding her to leave, leave, leave. And when she leaves, she maybe gets into the next terrible relationship, or starts trying to self soothe with substances. Then, there's so many things. In extreme cases, fear for her safety and that of her children would be another challenge. In these cases, the abusers will threaten them and all of that. And the kind of fear, that kind of fear can be paralyzing. And it's important to recognize actually, really, really important, that leaving an abusive situation is not always as simple as just walking out the door. However, this does not mean that there's nothing that can be done to help. Women who are in abusive or difficult situations can still be empowered to take action, protect themselves, and seek support. Empowering these women is crucial for their safety and well being. Like the author and activist Audre Lorde said, I am not free while any woman is unfree, even when her shackles are very different from my own. Empowering women, even when they are unable to leave abusive or difficult situations, is not just a matter of individual freedom, but a collective responsibility of all of us to fight for justice and equality in our world. Mercy Can't Stop Her is joining this fight by providing education, awareness, community support, and talking about real life examples of women that are empowered. With these, we hope that women in these situations can find the strength and courage to take action and overcome the challenges they face. We want you to be empowered and inspired to take control of your life, no matter what obstacles you face, because we know from the stories of the women who come on the podcast, the mercy can't stop you. Our mission is to offer a helping hand using a 5-pronged strategy. 1, share inspiring stories. So we share the stories of women who have overcome messy or difficult situations in their lives and refused to be stopped by them. By hearing from women who have faced and overcome obstacles, women in these situations can gain inspiration, find the strength and courage to take action, and be motivated to overcome the challenges they face to pursue their own goals. 2, we provide information. We provide access to expert insights and practical tips on a wide range of topics to help women make informed decisions and take action in their own lives. These include health and wellness, career development, financial literacy, and so on. Anything that will help a sister in the trenches step up to the podium of her life. 3, we provide a platform for advocacy. We raise awareness and advocate for issues affecting women by featuring experts and activists that are working on those issues. We want to support the work of others and also help spark conversation and action around important issues. Fourth thing that we want to do is to amplify diverse voices. We amplify the voices of women from diverse backgrounds and perspectives. So you have someone who is a homemaker, a full-time homemaker, somebody who is a doctor, United Army veteran, somebody who started writing at the age of 70, people from diverse backgrounds and perspectives. By featuring women with different experiences, cultures, and identities, we want to help create a more inclusive and representative conversation around issues affecting women. An example of this is our most recent work, A Letter to My Darling Husband. That is a collection of love stories, letters written by women to their current loves, ex loves, and their future loves. The proceeds of this publication is to go to a domestic violence initiative. So those are diverse voices, people sharing different perspectives. Number 5, our mission is to create a sense of community. By doing this podcast, we aim to provide women with a sense of community and connection by creating a space where women can feel a sense of belonging and support. How important it is to feel a sense of belonging. Regarding creating a community, we also now have the Mercy Can Stop Our Sisterhood on Facebook. An African proverb says that if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, you go together. We believe that by working together and supporting one another, women can overcome challenges and achieve their goals, no matter what obstacles they may face. So the Mercy Can't Stop Her Sisterhood on Facebook provides a safe and supportive space for women to connect with one another, share their experiences, and offer support and advice. Because it is a private group, members can feel more comfortable sharing personal information and seeking help without fear of judgment or retaliation. It's also a space where all of us can share information and resources on a range of topics related to women's empowerment and support, including legal rights, counseling services, and community resources. Members can also share their own experiences and advice in to help others in similar situations. The aim of the sisterhood is to foster a sense of community and connection among members. By sharing their experiences and supporting one another, members can feel less isolated and more empowered to take control of their lives. The aim of Mercy Can't Stop Our podcast and sisterhood is to create a sense of community and connection among every woman listening by encouraging them to share their own stories and experiences, and by providing resources and support for women facing similar challenges. I like us to remember that no one deserves to be left in an abusive or difficult situation just because they are unable to leave. Every woman deserves to feel safe and supported. By focusing on those women who may be in an abusive or difficult situation and not able to leave, we hope to raise awareness, provide resources, and offer support to those who may be struggling. Next week, we'll be looking at ways in which we, that is, you and I, can help a woman who is in an abusive or difficult situation but is unable to leave. If you're a sister in the trenches, I want you to know that this too shall pass. Your positive change is just around the corner. Please keep hope alive. If you do this, mercy can't stop you. Thank you so much for listening. See you next time.